welcome to Embracing Wisdom with Stacy. That's me. And I want to talk today about yoga. And I did a little survey on my social media and just with friends, family, and even a group of students of mine in an assisted living home. The average age was probably 80, average, we'll say. And I asked a simple question. When you hear the word yoga, what do you think? And I asked probably 75 people this question over the last week. I wanted to know what people think when they hear the word yoga, because I have my opinions about it, and we're going to talk about that. So the majority of answers were stretching, movement, um, using your body. It was very physical based. I had a few people say it's an hour, that's the best hour of my week, peacefulness, connection. But the majority of people said stretching, flexibility, movement, touching your toes. One person even mentioned wearing cute clothes. So let's talk about this because I am passionate about what yoga really is and living it. And they call yoga a practice for a reason. And we are practicing on the mat or in a chair, whether it's 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, we are practicing how to live our life. So when we reach for our toes and we feel a sensation in our hamstrings, we feel a sensation in our back, where does our mind go? Do we go to negativity? Do we go to ego? Do we go to, what am I going to have for dinner after this? Where do we go? That's part of why we put our bodies into these shapes. And then what do we do with that while we're there? Now, the juicy part is, and I learned this a long time ago, and I think about this all the time, especially when I am sharing this practice with somebody who is paralyzed, who is limited one side because they had a stroke. Maybe they can no longer see, they can no longer speak. I get the question all the time. Well, how do you do yoga with them? And I just want to scream. We do dishes, we do laundry, we don't do yoga. So let's wind back. Somebody told me a long time ago in a teacher training to think of yoga as a bicycle wheel. Okay, we got this bicycle wheel, and there's 8 spokes on the wheel. One single spoke is the body. One single spoke. 7 spokes are actually how to be a good person. So when somebody says to me, yoga is about flexibility, yoga is about touching your toes, yoga is about stretching, yes, but a tiny bit. The rest is what we do with it. So we're going to break down those bicycle wheel spokes today. And I'm going to talk about this a lot in the next couple months over on my social media. So follow me there because we're going to dive deeper and deeper and deeper. This is just like overview time. Okay. So the first bicycle spoke that I want you to think about is called the Yamas. And the Yamas are basically living kind in the world. It's how we treat other people. It's how we speak, how we interact, how we act honestly. Do we tell the truth? Do we lie? Do we fudge? Do we exaggerate? Do we dismiss? It's living with other people through the lens of kindness, heart-based stuff. And when we think about stealing, which is one of the yamas, non-stealing, non-harming, nice language, nice actions. But when we think about stealing, it's not just stealing something tangible. It's stealing somebody else's joy by being grumpy all the time. It's stealing somebody else's celebration when we compare ours to theirs. It's stealing somebody's grief when we don't sit and listen and we just want to say, yeah, that happened to me too. We're stealing right then and there. So yamas are how we treat other people, how we interact with the world. The second bicycle spoke is niyamas, and that is how we treat ourselves. That's how we treat ourselves. So when I'm touching my toes or not, do I say terrible things about myself? It's it's my relationship to my inner self. It's how I take care of my body. Do I eat clean? Do I wear clean clothes? Do I clean my space so it's not cluttered? Am I taking care of me? So in a yoga pose, if I'm doing something because my ego says, you'll look really cool if you do this, but my body doesn't want me to do it, I'm not practicing yoga right then and there. I am violating these guidelines. The 8 limbs of yoga, or the bicycle wheel spokes, is like a map of how we live our life. It's just guidelines to be a better person. All right, third spoke. This is the one when we think about when we hear the word yoga. It's called asana. And asana is our movements. It is the shapes that we put our bodies in, but it's doing so with presence. Now, you go to a yoga studio and you jump into a class and it's 90 minutes long and it's in a heated room and everybody's flexible and everybody's doing great things. And you think, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And the entire time you're thinking about other things, you're judging people, you are judging yourself, you're pushing your body beyond its limits. It doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. If you're not practicing the other 7 limbs, might as well just save yourself $25 and stay home. Like, it's just so important to me that we understand this. Okay, so asana is moving with presence. Fourth spoke, pranayama, which is breathing with power, with intention, not just shallow breathing going about your life. It's intentional tool to ground you, to calm you, to bring you into the now. Pranayama. There's a lot of different styles of pranayama, but simply taking a complete breath, immediately my nervous system is shifting. Immediately I'm coming into the present moment. Okay, so pranayama is the power of the breath. Prana is life, life force. We breathe that in. The fifth one is pratyahara, which this one means an inward look, turning inward. It's when we need to just tune out to tune in. I say that all the time. Tune out to tune in. It's when we close our eyes, we sit outside for a moment, and we ask, what's going on with me? What do I need to know? What am I missing? It's a turning inward. And it's the way that we come back to ourselves. So it's withdrawing the nonsense and coming inward. It's a turning inward. It's a beautiful practice. Now, in a yoga class, the turning inward is why I guide you often, if you're in my class, to close your eyes, because I want you to tune into you, not to the teacher, not to the other students. Tune into you. Pratyahara, withdraw from the news, the nonsense, what that person said to you yesterday, and tune in. It's such a beautiful thing. All right, number 6, Dharana, focused attention. So when we have that drishti in a tree pose and we're holding our hands at our heart and we're focused on something, we have focused attention in that moment. Now, off the yoga mat, off the chair, Dharana, how are we focused in our relationship, in a conversation? How are we, do we have the art to be with one thing? Can we just simply pull the weeds? Can we simply do the dishes? Can we listen to our friend who's hurting? How do we have focused attention on one thing? It's a hard one for a lot of people. Okay. Dhyana is the gentle awareness. A little different than focusing on one thing. It is having this ability to empty and just be aware of the present. We might call it meditation. We might call it sitting with something, being with a feeling, being with uncertainty, being with yourself, being with a decision. It's noticing where your thoughts go, how much they jump around. We call it the monkey mind. It is a gentle awareness of the present moment. Call it meditation, call it observing the breath. gentle awareness. The last spoke on the wheel is it's called Samadhi, but a lot of people think, oh, well, it's enlightenment and I'm working towards this, as if the limbs are a ladder, and they're not a ladder. They weave together. It's not that you come in and you like step on the yamas and like, okay, I'm going to treat everybody better. And then you're done with that and you move up to the niyamas, I'm going to treat me better. It's not a progression like that. It's an encompassing of everything. So when we think of Samadhi, or enlightenment, it's not a goal. It's not a place we go. It's not something that we achieve. It is a glimmer of wholeness. It is a moment in any given day, in any moment of your life where you feel whole, connected, peaceful. So picture this, you're on the yoga mat, you've had a great asana practice, you've stretched your body, you touch your toes, nothing happens. Confetti doesn't fall from the sky. There's no big award. But you roll yourself onto your mat. You lay down. And for a moment, a glimmer, feel content. That is enlightenment. A glimmer, you feel peaceful. And so oftentimes, if you know me, I spend a lot of time in my garden. And when I'm just pulling the hoe through the soil, there's a glimmer of peace right there. I'm not thinking about anything, so I have focused attention. I have a gentle awareness where my mind is empty. I'm breathing slowly, moving my body, taking care of me, what brings me joy. And in that moment, I have samadhi, I have enlightenment. It's just a glimmer of peace. That's all it is. It's where we might arrive in silence to a washing over us of peace. So if you have a meditation practice, which is like yoga, you can meditate all day long, but if you're a jerk the rest of the day, why bother? Practice meditation, practice emptying the mind, practice becoming heart-based, and then go out in the world and actually live it. It's the same thing with yoga. You learn all these spokes on a yoga mat or in a chair, but then if you roll up your mat or put your chair in the closet and you go out in the world and you judge people and you're mean and you're spiteful and you talk bad about yourself and you take short and shallow breaths and your mind is cluttered with a million things and you never sit still and you're never quiet, you're never going to find those moments of peace. You're not practicing yoga at all. You're not doing yoga at all. You're just living a chaotic life. So these guidelines, this roadmap is so important to understand that when we hear the word yoga, we are talking about a lifestyle. We're talking about being a better person. We're talking about an awakening, right? And often for most of us, it happens on the floor. We have the awakening and we don't realize that we have that washing over us of peacefulness, of quiet inward awareness. We don't realize that what we've done is we've just pulled all 8 of the spokes into ourselves. So it often happens that our awakening occurs when we practice asana. Okay, so we have an association. Asana is yoga, movement is yoga, and we don't realize that it's all the other things that I just talked about. So coming up in the next 2 months, I'm going to dive deep into each of the bicycle spokes. We're going to start with the yamas. I've done it before, but we're going to revisit it. We're going to dive deep into each of the yamas. There's 5 of them. And I'm going to invite you to really practice with me. Really understand that when you go out in the world to interact with the grocery store person or driving your car on the roadway or talking to your partner or relating to your children or your parents or your neighbors, that there is a way of being that this roadmap and these guidelines can truly enhance your life. Of course, we'll talk about asana because that's a spoke. It's important, but it is not what yoga is. Yoga is not touching your toes. It's not standing on one leg. It's not putting your body in a headstand. It's not wrapping your foot behind your head. It is not any of that. That is not yoga. That is acrobatics. It is exercise. It is craziness. It is not yoga. And you can see now, perhaps, when you think of an individual like me sharing yoga with somebody who is paralyzed, end of life, in hospice, that what I'm really doing is the bicycle wheel. I might be rubbing his feet or her feet. I might be gently stretching their body to put that asana, that presence of movement. I might be just putting my hands on them. Is that yoga? Absolutely, because the other 7 bicycle wheel spokes are happening. They're happening. So we're going to break it down. It's really important to me. And maybe I think I can change the world. I don't know. I just want to open the mind a bit that when we hear the word yoga going forward, if you're listening to this, you hear the word yoga and you interpret that word as a way of being, a way of being, and just leave it at that. It's a way of being, it's a lifestyle. It's maybe something that you'd like to incorporate into your life so that you have less anger, less judgment, less negativity, less hatred for self, less monkey mind, less worry about the future, less gripping onto the past, less yuck, and more goodness. Maybe that's what this is all about. All right, that's what I have for you. So stay tuned. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my podcast, get on my blog. You can subscribe to my blog so you get this in writing. There'll be writing of this, there'll be language of this, there'll be me of this, there'll be all of it together. It's going to be a beautiful program and it's free because I don't know, why would I charge? Why would I charge to just help people live their best life? Not for me. Okay, so that's where we're going to go. So stick with me, hang with me. We're going to start with the yamas. We're going to work all the way through the 8 spokes. It's going to be magnificent, and I can't wait to share it with you. And I hope that you have a magnificent day being the best version of yourself. All right, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.